I just spent approximately 8 years untangling this necklace, so you're welcome. Okay guys, so today we are talking about Charlotte Tilbury. So Charlotte Tilbury is a makeup artist owned brand. It's known for being very luxe and expensive, but also just for really kind of fresh, glowing skin, really kind of model-esque type of makeup. The packaging is absolutely stunning on everything. So today we're gonna do pretty much a full face of Charlotte Tilbury. I don't have any of the brow stuff or the mascara, so the brows are done and the mascara will be something else, but I think everything else I have. I don't have any of the eyeshadow quads, but I do have a face palette that we're gonna use on the eyes as well. Most of the stuff here I've been trying out for quite a while, for at least a couple weeks, if not longer than that. I do have one palette that I haven't really dipped my toe into too much yet, so we're gonna try that out today. But yeah, I'm excited to kind of play with these products, show you how they apply, and let you guys know what I think is worth the money or not. Okay, so the first product is the Magic Cream. This is kind of, I think, the first product that she launched. The brand's been around for quite a while, I think. This, I don't understand. They have a couple different sizes. The size that I have is the 1.01 ounce. This size retails for $64. The full size retails for $100. Basically, and I mean, I'm okay with spending money on skincare, but I don't necessarily think this is like good skincare, you know? Okay, so I'm gonna take a little bit of this. This is really, really strongly fragranced, and I think that's the big thing I don't like about it. It's really, really thick, really, really creamy. But I'm going to put that on my face. The first time I used this, I did feel like it irritated my skin just a little bit. I didn't get like a rash or anything. It was just like, I felt like my skin got really red. It just made my face like super, super red. And that, I mean, is partially probably because of the motion of my hands going over top, but I don't know. I just don't like that it's so fragrant. It feels really nice on the skin. So I can see how she made this product to be good kind of under makeup. It's a little bit tacky. It feels nice and creamy and moisturizing. Seems like it would be a good base. It does give you a nice dewy look when you first put it on. I just feel like the ingredients aren't truly like penetrating your skin and really giving you deep hydration. I tried using this on its own once, and actually after it kind of sunk in, I just didn't feel like it was enough. But it does seem like a good base for makeup. Okay, next up is a product that I actually do really recommend, that I do think is worth the money, and that is the Hollywood Flawless Filter for a Superstar Youth Glow, and I have the shade 1 Fair. This is beautiful. It's really hard to describe this product to people. They describe it as a complexion enhancer. So there's a few different ways you can use it. You can put it all over your face as kind of like a primer. You could mix it in with your moisturizer. You can mix it in with your foundation to give you like a nice dewy look. You can use it as a really subtle highlight. There's just so many different ways that you can use this product. So I've used it, I think, pretty much every single way. I do a lot of times when I don't want to wear anything else on my face, I'll just put a little bit of this on as like a subtle highlight, and that works really well. But if I'm doing like a little bit more makeup, I'm just gonna put this all over my face and use it as my tinted moisturizer. Now if you're oily, you probably won't like this method, just because it is gonna give you a very dewy look, but at the same time, it's not heavy. It doesn't feel greasy or heavy on the face. So if you do like a dewy look, but you want something lightweight, this might be the way to go. It's very dewy, okay? It's gonna be very dewy. So I'm just going to blend this in. I like to do it with a brush. This one is a Sephora Collection Full Coverage Foundation brush. I like it because it is quite dense. It has a little bit of give to it, but the denseness really helps to kind of get everything blended in nice and seamlessly. I like to kind of go over my lids with this too, Just gives a nice kind of glossy wet look to the eye. So it does give you a little bit of coverage. It's obviously not going to be a lot, but it just kind of evens out the tone and obviously gives you a glow. Okay, next up is the Charlotte Tilbury, obviously, the Magic Away Concealer. As you can see, I have used a pretty decent amount of this. I like it. It has like one of the sponge tip applicators, so if you like that type of applicator, that might be a good one for you. I'm gonna kind of do a little bit of a highlighty motion-y type thing. Not too much though. I don't want to disturb that Charlotte Tilbury on the cheekbone because sometimes I do skip highlight if I'm just going for a pretty natural look. You don't really have to use this sparingly, just put it everywhere. So it's great if you do like to highlight and contour. It is nice and lightweight. It's on the more hydrating side. Do I think you need to spend this much money on it? No, probably not. The concealer retails for $32. Which isn't horrible in the land of Charlotte Tilbury. This retails for $44, by the way. I don't think I told you that. But I think there are just as good, if not better, concealers at the drugstore even. I quite like the CoverGirl True Blend It's Lit Concealer. This I find has like similar coverage, similar finish, and is even a little bit more hydrating. So I would probably pick that up over the Charlotte Tilbury one. But if you want to splurge on a concealer, it is nice, it is lightweight, it blends into the skin well, it doesn't emphasize dry texture. It's not my favorite concealer around my nose, but it is really hard for me to find a concealer that I like around my nose. So basically I just put this everywhere where I wanted a little bit more coverage. So generally I like a little bit more coverage along here because I don't mind if some of the redness on my cheeks comes through, but I just don't like it to be down here because then it starts looking blotchy and whatnot. And obviously under my eyes, I would say this is about a medium coverage concealer. It does build, but I do find it difficult to do or to layer with other concealers with the sponge tip applicator because I feel like as soon as you put the sponge on, it kind of removes some of the product underneath. So you could like put this on your hand and then go in, but that is kind of a pain. But it's a good brightening concealer. I usually use this whenever I feel like doing like a strong like highlight and contour type of situation. Okay, I think that's where we're gonna leave it. So my under eye circles are not completely covered, but they are nice and brightened and everything. So I'm pretty happy with where we're at right now. Next is the Airbrush Flawless Finish Skin Perfecting Micro Powder. So this retails for $45. It is a nice powder. It is nice and smooth. It's very finely milled. It's just a little bit more matte than I want for my super dry skin. I'm not the biggest powder person. I think if you like pressed powders, you will like this. It is nice and smooth. It looks pretty on the skin. It's just a wee bit too matte for my liking. But in terms of the price, like I would definitely not purchase this just because of my skin type. But my favorite powder ever is the Hourglass one, and that one retails for $46. So, and I would purchase that one. I think the powder is it's a good product. I think it's really just gonna come down to your skin type. So I am gonna use just a little teeny bit of this underneath the eyes. This one on me, it looks nice when I first put it on. It just by the end of the day, it can look a little bit dry. But I think that if you're oily, you might really like this to help control oil. I'm also gonna mattify just like right here in the pore area. And this one does kind of give you that little bit of blurring, airbrushed look. So that's usually all I set is kind of this area. And it did kind of smooth everything over and smooth over my pores. This I do actually quite often, some kind of base like this. I just like how fresh and glowy, but still covered everything looks, and I think the combination of the Flawless Filter and the concealer works really, really well together. So next up is this guy. This is the Glowgasm face palette, and then this is the product that I haven't really tried too much. I did dabble in the highlighter the other day, but I wasn't really paying too much attention to it. So this one is pretty new to me. The packaging is absolutely stunning. It's got this like kind of faded face here and this like almost watercolor sort of like just ethereal and almost like biblical looking packaging. I don't know. I think it's beautiful. I don't know how much this costs or even if it's still available. Let's see. Okay, so this is a limited edition palette. It looks like you can still get it online at Sephora. This retails for $75 doll hairs. They do have two colors. Oh, this is Lightgasm, by the way. They have two Glowgasms. This one's Lightgasm, and then there's also a Lovegasm for deeper skin tones. I love all the embossed letters. It makes me almost not want to use it. Like, look at this. It's just gorgeous. So I'm not sure if this is going to show up more as like a contour or a bronzer on me, but let's just put some on the face and see how it looks. So I'm going to dip in. This is an It Cosmetics brush. Doesn't seem like a whole lot is coming up on the brush, but we'll see. No fallout whatsoever. So this is pretty gently pigmented, but I think if you have fair skin, you're probably really gonna like this because I think it's gonna be hard to overdo it, but you can definitely see there's some sculpting happening. There's a little bit of bronzing happening. This is not gonna be like a super intense product. It's just not. I'm using the Fenty Beauty mirror, but it's the same product. I am having to kind of build it up quite a bit, but I think if you like a super natural makeup look and you're around my skin tone or fairer, you're probably really gonna like this product. It looks beautiful and natural, and it's just kind of blending into itself. Let's move on to the highlight. This, I don't know, that may work as a nice peachy blush for me, but it's quite sparkly. I don't know, they're both sparkly. So I could probably use either one of these as a blush. I think I might actually just use this on the eyes. I'm gonna use this palette for the eyes as well. But I'm gonna go into this highlight here, and I'm going to pop that on top. So again, this is very kind of gently pigmented, but it's definitely there. But it's, ooh, that, okay. Oh, that's pretty. Oh, this is gorgeous. I'm gonna take my e.l.f. brush. This is just a little bit of a flatter highlight brush, and I'm gonna kind of buff that into the skin. So now I'm gonna take that brush again. I'm gonna dip into this shade here, which is a very, very sparkly blush, and I'm gonna pop that over top. Did anything happen? It's giving me a little bit of color. I'm gonna kind of go in and mix these two. Let's see if we can get a little bit more color. Oh god, that's really shiny. Okay, so I definitely feel like I just put highlighter all over my face, which I think this is kind of more meant to be a highlighter, so it's might be. But this is supposed to be a blush. I'm gonna kind of press over that with the sponge. So I like a glowy blush, but this is just a bit much. It definitely looks really pretty and like still pretty natural, but I just feel like that much shimmer in a blush just emphasizes every single pore and crevice on your cheeks, or at least on mine. So I mean, it's pretty, but I probably would not use the blush again. The highlight and the bronzer contour I would definitely use. These two I would have to find, I would almost use this as like a highlight. Or maybe a highlight on somebody who's a little bit more kind of a medium skin tone. This would be really pretty, but I don't know if I love the blush. It's just a little bit too shiny for me, which I never thought I would say, but here we are. Okay, so that is the face. It does look very beautiful and natural, but still kind of sculpted, definitely glowy. Do I think this is worth $75? No, I think you can find just as good products at the drugstore, or even not at the drugstore, but for a cheaper price. I think the packaging is beautiful. I think if you like to collect Charlotte Tilbury products, then this would make a beautiful addition to your collection, but I don't think you need it in terms of an actual usable palette. I will continue to use it. I especially like these two shades, but I just don't think that it's necessarily worth that $75 price tag. Mostly what you're paying for is the packaging and the nice embossed pressed product. I don't think the price was really going to like the product itself that much, if that makes sense. Anyways, but I'm also gonna put this on my eyeballs and see how it performs there. Since it's so kind of gently pigmented, I don't know how well it's gonna show up on the eyes. Okay, so I'm gonna go in with that bronzer shade. It just feels like nothing is picking up on the brush, but then I put it to my face and there is in fact product on the brush. Cool, so I'm gonna take this shade right here on my finger and I'm gonna press that everywhere. Ooh, that's pretty on the eyes. Pretty messily placing that all over the lid, and then I'm gonna take my little brush and kind of blend out the edge. And then I'm gonna take this guy here and I'm put that in the inner corner and kind of bring it up a little bit. Oh, that's such a gorgeous inner corner highlight, oh my god. All right, I'm gonna put a little bit of this right in the center of the lid too to kind of give that beautiful, just glowy, kind of wet look almost. Cool, eyes are done. I know it's super simple, but that's really all I wanted to do today was just add like a little bit of definition and like a hint of color. So yeah, this is definitely a look I would do again. I think this would be a good palette to travel with, to just get some really simple, beautiful looks out of. So I'm gonna go do my mascara and then we will be back to do lips. Hello, I have returned with mascara on. I just used a little Marc Jacobs combo. This is the primer and the mascara. And now we're gonna do some lips. So this is the Charlotte Tilbury. I need to stop saying Charlotte Tilbury. We know it's Charlotte Tilbury. This is the lip liner, lip cheat liner in Pillow Talk. These are lovely. I think these are one of the best lip liner formulas. They have just like the right amount of stiffness for me. So they're stiff enough that you have control. They're gonna help the lipstick last all day, but they still glide on. They're still not gonna skip or tug or pull at the lip. So I think these are a really good formula. These are $22, which is expensive for a lip liner, but it's not unheard of. So I'm gonna go in and line my lips. And I'm gonna fill in as well. So I did overline just slightly, really just to kind of even out my lip shape and give a little bit more fullness. So Pillow Talk is kind of one of those like iconic shades that Charlotte Tilbury has. So sometimes I'll just do this and then like throw a gloss on top, or even this on its own looks nice, but it's a great Your Lips But Better for me at least. So I have two of the actual lipsticks. I have one in Walk of Shame. This is a matte formula. It's a nice like burgundy color. And then I have this one. This is new from the Hot Lips collection. This is in the shade Dancefloor Princess, and it's a really, really pretty nude. The packaging on these new Hot Lips ones are so gorgeous. All of them are kind of different. So I definitely like go into Sephora and take a look at them because they're absolutely beautiful. I definitely prefer the satin formula over the matte formula. The matte formula I found okay. I just thought it was a little bit too drying for my liking, and if I'm gonna go for a matte lip, I usually go for a liquid lip. The color is really pretty. It did last fairly well, but I just felt it was a bit drying. The satins, however, are absolutely gorgeous. They're so hydrating. They stay nice and juicy, but they last pretty well. I mean, obviously not as long as like a matte liquid lip, but these still last really well on the lips. So I love the satin formula. So the Matte Revolutions retail for $34 and the Hot Lips collection retails for $37, which is very expensive. So I'm gonna put that on. This does have a little bit of kind of a not iridescent, but it kind of has a little bit of a shimmer running through it. it's not just a straight cream, but I think it's actually gorgeous. I normally don't like any glitter or any kind of particles in my lipstick, but this is actually beautiful. It doesn't look like glittery. It just adds like another kind of dimensional element to the lips, and I just love it. I'm feeling good. I feel like I should have done my hair for this video, but you know, we gotta be practical. I'm gonna spray this with a little Urban Decay All-Nighter. Okay, so this is the finished look. I'm gonna kind of zoom you in so you can see everything up close and personal. So I really like the way my skin looks. I like how everything looks nice and natural. I just wish that that blush didn't have so much glitter, or not really glitter, but I wish it wasn't so shiny, because I do feel like my pores and texture are kind of emphasized right in here, but otherwise it looks real pretty. So I'm going to give you kind of a quick little rundown of the products and let you know what I think, you know, is worth the money and what is not. I mean, realistically, all of this stuff is hella expensive. The only thing that I think is like 100% worth the splurge is the Hollywood Flawless Filter. This is such a unique product, and that's the main reason why I think it's worth the splurge. I have yet to find anything that looks so beautiful and natural and is such a versatile product. I think you can really get a lot of use out of it. There's so many different ways which you can use it. So in that way, I think it's definitely worth the price. It is $44. That is expensive for a makeup product, but I think it's definitely worth the money. Everything else, I think that you can find comparable products for. My other favorite products, however, are the lip products, particularly the liners and then the satin lip formula. The liners are not too much more expensive than a standard high-end liner. They are kind of all around that like $18 to $20 price point. This is $22, so it's not really too much more. So I think that if you're looking for a good lip liner and you have the money to spend, these are a really good option. Pillow Talk especially is a very pretty nude shade. The satin formulas are beautiful. Again, I mean, it's $37 for a lipstick. There are formulas out there that are much cheaper that I think are just as good. The Moisture Drenched lipsticks from No. 7, those are around 12 bucks. Those are fantastic. There definitely are other formulas that are just as good. However, if you do want to kind of treat yourself and get you like a luxury item that just looks pretty, it's got this beautiful little lipstick embossed thing, I would definitely maybe pick something up from the Hot Lips collection because the packaging is so pretty, and I know that's not the most important thing, it's the performance of the product, but these do perform well and the packaging is beautiful. So I would say if you're wanting to splurge on a lipstick, this is a good option. However, I don't think you need to go out and buy them. I do think there's other options if you just want a good performing lipstick. The matte formula I would personally pass on, but I would say if you like a matte cream lipstick, you probably will like this. I just found it to be a little bit drying. The Glowgasm palette, this is pretty. I like how natural it looks on the skin. I'm definitely probably going to get more use out of these two shades than these two. This is just too dark to be a highlighter for me and too sparkly to be a blush, and so is the actual blush, I think. But it is really pretty. Again, this is kind of more if you collect Charlotte Tilbury makeup, if you like to have some more pretty packaging or like display pieces, this might be a good option, but I don't think that it's necessarily worth the money for the product itself. I think that you can find just as good performing highlights and bronzers and blushes at a much lower price point. The concealer, kind of same thing. I like it, I enjoy it, I will continue to use it up, but I'm probably not going to repurchase it because I think there are other good concealers out there, especially at the drugstore. The CoverGirl one I mentioned earlier, the Wet n Wild Photo Focus, oh my gosh, the Wet n Wild Photo Focus, and just the $32 for concealer is quite expensive, so I don't think you need to spend money on that. But again, if you do pick it up, I don't think you're going to be disappointed. It is a nice concealer. I just don't think it's necessarily worth that high price point. The powder, now this is going to be kind of a weird answer. I do think it's worth the money because it is soft, it is blurring, it is mattifying. It's just not worth my money. That sounded dumb, but like, I wouldn't personally pick this up because I don't think this product is made for me. However, if you're someone that likes a matte, blurring, smoothing, finely milled, delicious powder, I think you will really, really like this. But I wouldn't personally repurchase it, but I do think it's worth the money. Does that make sense? I think that makes sense. Let's move on. Okay, last thing is the Magic Cream. I mean, it is nice. It's a good makeup base. It feels luxurious when you put it on. It does give you some hydration. I just don't think it's worth such a high price point. I think there's so much better skincare out there, and especially since we're learning a little bit more about ingredients and whatnot, I just think I would much rather spend my money on something that isn't scented, that's really gonna penetrate deep into the skin and give me like lasting results. I would much rather spend my money on like the Drunk Elephant Lala cream or something like that. It's not worth the money, guys. It's just not. I think that is all for today. Thank you for joining me and trying out some Charlotte Tilbury products, seeing how they perform and whatnot. I really enjoyed making this video. Let me know if you think these products are worth the money, if there's things that you would want to pick up or that you're thinking about picking up. If you like this video, please give it a thumbs up and subscribe to my channel to see no more new videos, and I will see you all again soon. Bye!